Good evening, Swig Squad. This is T with the Diva, and I'm coming to y'all this evening to talk about the workforce. I have been having conversations with my cousins this weekend, and we're just talking about corporate America, the workforce. We came to the conclusion that it doesn't matter what type of employee you are. So, when I first told my story, like I said, most of the comments, 98% of the comments were all positive. Very beautiful people said very encouraging words. It was very nice things said. However, there were 2% that, just made comments, just speaking to if I've already admitted that I wasn't a good employee, I should have expected to be terminated. But the conversation that me and my cousins were having is we all were speaking about our work experiences in these different positions, and also with my brothers. All my cousins are mostly male. They've all shared their experiences, and we've all come to the conclusion that it doesn't even matter what type of employee you are. I have two brothers who are in the corporate realm of the automotive industry. So they all have corporate positions. So although they work in a auto plant, they are in the corporate realm of that. When I say that, I mean like management. They have employees under them. I have two brothers specifically that go to work an hour early, stay an hour late. They do everything that they supposed to do. And they themselves run into obstacles that they didn't feel were fair to them. Everything from promotions to positions to people backing them up in meetings and them being able to take time off. Like my brothers hardly ever take PTO. They can't never spend time with their family because they always at work. They don't take vacation. They're asked when they have funerals to go to. They're asked, do they have somebody to cover their shift? So it's just like these are exceptional employees. They go above and beyond, and they're still treated with little to no respect. They still gotta claw their way and fight their way to the places that they want to be. For instance, I got one brother who was trying to get a promotion for years and years, and they would still have these barriers put up. They would still have to deal with people being promoted in front of them with less seniority, less time, knew little about the job, and would still be promoted and moved up. So it's like, when people say things like, well, if you didn't cooperate with this and if you didn't do that and you knew you were this type of employee, you should have known that there was a chance that, and that's not always the case. I wasn't around there cussing people out. I definitely did my job. I met the quotas that I needed to meet. I didn't have a bad attendance problem. I wasn't tardy. I wasn't late. I used my PTO, but I didn't use time that I didn't have a lot. I have my other brother. He's also a manager. He had a situation where he got sick, which my brothers are they really healthy. They stay in the gym. They really take care of themselves, so they don't get sick often. They don't deal with a lot of illnesses. So my brother got sick, and he said that these people that he covered in these meetings all the time were so disappointed in him for not being at work and not being able to participate that they didn't even want to speak to him. They barely wanted to take his phone calls to say that he was sick. He hadn't done anything to them. They were just disappointed. So he was sick a little longer than he would have wanted to be. He thought that after 2 days, he would be back to work. Well, he wasn't back to work in them 2 days. He was really still sick. So he said his body wasn't at 100%. So he didn't worry about going in. So 3 days turned into 5 days. Most of the time they actually work 7 days, but it turned into 5 days, and he wanted to speak with them so that he could share with them what he wanted them to relay to his team. Nobody would respond to his calls because they were upset. And when he got back to work, when he finally did return after 5 days, which is 1 work week, they gave him very negative energy. They turned their backs on him. They did not want to speak with him. They felt like he had wronged them by getting sick and having to take time off. They did not want to hear anything about what had happened to him, how sick he was, what his temperature was, what happened when he went to the hospital, what the doctor said. He was never able to share these things with them because they were so upset that he had taken that time off that they didn't want to speak to him. And they gave him the cold shoulder. And he had that negative energy. And he had to deal with that for like upwards of 2 weeks. So all I say is, listen, I don't tell nobody how to act at their job. However you want to react and you want to do whatever you want your work ethic to be, whatever you want to be respected by, and however you want your name to go around those buildings and be in those meetings, it's totally up to you as an individual. The only thing that I'm saying is that in my position, and like me and my cousins were saying over the weekend, most of the time, it don't matter anyway. It don't matter if you are a wonderful employee and you do everything you're supposed to do and you go above and beyond and you do all of the work that they want you to do, and you make sure that you meet every number and every mark that they set for you, or a higher percentage of work. I'm just saying, I don't want to tell you how to do your job and how to present yourself at your job. The only thing that I'm saying is these companies, all they care about is how well you did the last time you had to do it. They don't care about anything going forward because you are there to do a job for them. Given up, you have to just make sure that you're going in and you're doing the best job that you can do. And you have to just know that any day can be your last day. It don't matter how good you are. If you good and they don't like you, you being good don't mean nothing. I just wanted to drive that point home and make sure that I communicated the fact. I want to say, if you know that somebody does their job, don't take a lot of time off and are at work an hour early and stay an hour later, I would like to say that's job protection. I would like to say that would ensure that they would at least have a position at the end of the day. But I can't even promise that, because it doesn't mean it. Just because you come to work an hour early and stay an hour later and they act like they can't do nothing without you, they will make sure that they find somebody to do what you're doing. And they don't even have to do it as well as you do it, as long as you there to fill that void. Don't ever think that they can't run without you, because they definitely can. So I just wanted to say, I communicate this. I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter about how well you work. And I would like to think that if you were a halfway decent employee, a great employee, a good employee. I would hope that that would mean that you can at least say that that's a definite position. I would at least say that you don't have to worry about getting terminated. I would at least say that you are somebody that do a well enough job that even if you don't get promoted, you are somebody who don't have to come to work and worry about your job not being there. But I can't even say that because it just depends. Because with my daughter, my oldest daughter, she works in management as well. And she just had a situation in her job where there were managers, assistant managers that were laid off who were impeccable employees. They did very, very well, brought very good numbers to their shift, build their shifts up. And when it came time to get chopped off that list, they had to go. I don't think it matters about who we are, what we do. Now, yeah, I did have to suffer. And had I played the game, even if I didn't do my work, I would have been very much well off. I would have not been having to worry about not having my job the next day. It would have been very different. All I had to do was make sure that I converse with some people, not speak negatively about anybody in management to anybody else. Make sure that I speak to people, whether they speaking to me or not. Don't worry about that. Just make sure I say hi and make sure that they realize that I'm trying to say hi. Had I done all of that, of course, I definitely would have had a seat and would have been able to keep going. But again, I don't want to be somewhere that I got to be stressed out. So I was just coming here for a brief moment just to share those thoughts with you. I was conversing with my cousins this weekend, and one of my cousins said that we just doomed as a family because they go through the same stuff that I went through at my job that I was at, and they have to deal with those same things, and they all are supervisors and managers and have had all kind of promotions after so many years, but they still have the same stigma behind them that, you know, they're cocky and they think they're this and they think they're that. It's just because as a family we were raised, we wasn't a bow down, cower down type of family. We had a lot of men in our family. They were all raised to stand up and take charge. So we all kind of got that same attitude. We really we go into a job to do our job. We don't want to be your friends. We don't respect titles. We don't kiss behind just because we know that you're somebody who has a lot of power. We don't worry about that. That does not make us or break us. We just don't feel like we have to bow down to nobody just because they had a job. So my cousins was all telling examples of when they were at work and felt like they were somewhat disrespected because they actually standing up and saying no, this is my area, this is my department, and you're not going to come over here and try to run over me. I don't think that a lot of companies can handle that type of attitude. We just don't have the personalities to deal with somebody just barking orders at us. We're not able to handle things like that. So it is what it is. But I just wanted to come here just to say that I realize that when it comes to work ethic, being a wonderful, exceptional employee, my brothers do what they got to do at work, and they still face the same challenges that I faced. No, they haven't been terminated, but they face the same stressful challenges that I have spoken about, and they share the things that they've dealt with and the things that they've gone through. But of course, they are wonderful employees, so there's nothing to, when you looking behind their back and you trying to check in behind them, it's nothing to check, because they've already done everything that they were supposed to do the correct way and made sure that everything that they did was right. So that's where I dropped the ball and where I went wrong at, and subsequently I had my employment taken from me. But I just wanted to just come here and give those little 2 cents about just being at a workplace and just being who you are and not having to change who you are, because ultimately it really doesn't matter in the end. This is their company. You don't work for yourself. So the minute that they realize that they don't want to be bothered with you, or they don't want you here anymore, then they'll do something about that. So yeah, that was all I had to say. And I just wanted to come with y'all for a brief moment to just get the week started. So let's go, Swig Squad. Thank you for all my new subscribers. Make sure you like, comment, and share. This is Tea with the Diva.